Hey everyone, Kythix here, bringing you a mechanics video for Rocket League Sideswipe. Today, we're talking about super jumps. It's not quite as flashy as some of the other mechanics in the game, but given how often you need to jump, it's well worth knowing how to get the most out of them. If you use them effectively, you'll definitely have the edge over your opponents. In this video, I'll cover how to do them, some things to know about it, and some practical gameplay tips of when to use it. So, let's get into it. If you hold the jump button, the maximum height jump you can get is having your wheels touch the top of the first balcony. Any jump higher than this I'm considering to be a super jump. So if you press the jump button again, the moment your wheels are touching the ground, you'll be rewarded with a jump that is much higher than normal. Congratulations, that's a super jump. Here's a video of them side by side in which I freeze the frame for max height, and you can see quite the difference in heights. You'll also notice that on the second jump, our non-super jump height does not quite reach the top of the balcony like our normal max height jump. So this means that Sideswipe is actually penalizing us for missing the super jump. It's very, very subtle, so you probably won't notice in actual gameplay, but just for fun, if we instead make the minimum height jump by just tapping the jump button instead of holding it, and we miss the frame for the super jump where our wheels are above the ground and instead jump when our wheels are below the ground, we get a little bunny hop. That's about half the height of the minimum height jump. With just 2 jumps, this is the variety of heights you can get. Obviously, you can get some other heights in between depending on how long you hold the jump button. Alright, so that was just with the jump button. If we add the analog stick into this, we get a much more important super jump that I'm calling the angled super jump. Unlike the other super jump, this does not require you to already be in the air. So, in order to execute this, you'll push your analog stick upwards and then wait till your car is about 45 degrees. And if you jump then, you will have executed the angled super jump. That's it. Now it's important to know that there are a number of ways to mess this up. If you try holding the 45-degree angle and then jumping, it will not work. If you press the jump button before your car has reached 45 degrees, it also will not work. In both of these situations, you'll just end up with a normal jump. And finally, this is really important, if you wait too long and try jumping when your car is past 45 degrees, Sideswipe will give you the super jump, but it will penalize you by taking away your second jump entirely. So here's a slow-mo of those frames. This is jumping too early, this is the perfect timing for a super jump, and this is jumping too late. You can see that by jumping too late, the green indicator for our second flip is no longer there. So that's it for the basics. Now here are some things to know about the super jumps. I've been showing these without boost, so it's easier to tell how to give your jumps more power, but you should be using these alongside your boosted jump. Both super jumps can be done off the sidewalls and the ceiling, and inside your goal as well. You can chain super jumps together as long as your timing is good, and the reason that you get more height on these jumps one after another is because the super jump depends on your speed going into the jump. Using this knowledge, one fun thing is that you can actually reach the ceiling without using your boost at all. Here's a breakdown of how that happens. After your normal jump, you'll flip your car upside down and neutral jump toward the ground to build up more speed. Your car will automatically flip back around near the ground, and I'm pressing jump the moment my car touches the ground. As you shoot upwards, I'm using my second jump and immediately pressing up on the analog to use the directional influence in the air to get more height on my jump. In case you didn't know about the directional influence in the air, this is a clip of me not using the analog stick on my second jump, and you can see me just missing the ceiling. As I said, the super jump power depends on your vertical speed hitting the surface, but the angled super jump works a little differently. Your height depends on the horizontal speed on the surface. So one is more kind of like a basketball and the other one is more kind of like a ramp. Also notice here I stopped boosting so you can see the height from just the jump. Here's the jump a couple more times just so you can see the power of this move in transferring your momentum into height. Now, there's also this weird horizontal stopping effect if you miss your super jump that I'm not quite sure how to explain. Alright, before we jump into gameplay tips, I want to take a moment to show off this video's car design. It's a sugar-themed endo with cupcake wheels and a birthday cake topper. It's a ridiculous car, but if you want to appreciate it for all those demonstrations it's helping us with in this video, feel free to drop a like below. Okay, back to super jumps. Nearly all my tips here in actual gameplay are basically about faster movement. Using the jump effectively means getting into position faster, contesting balls faster, and using less boost to get from point A to point B. Also, with hoops back this season, you'll probably be going for balls in the air more often, and it's even more important that you get there first. I probably won't be able to cover all the situations super jumps are useful, but here are a few ideas. First is the purple pop-up. Unless you're shooting or passing, the idea with this move is to follow it up with some sort of aerial play. So you should be trying to get to the ball as fast as you can after you've popped the ball up. Even with this quick pop-up, you can get some extra power by hitting the super jump. Here's the side-by-side. If I replay this clip again slower, you can see that when I go to follow up my purple shot, my opponent is already in the air boosting. But because I hit the super jump, I'm able to make up the difference before I take my second jump. Now I'm in a slightly better position to win this encounter. Super jumping off the sidewalls is also incredibly useful. Generally, I'll be using this defensively off my opponent's wall to get back into position, or offensively on my wall to make a challenge or take the ball downfield quickly. If you have a lot of speed going into your opponent's wall, you might as well use that momentum to rotate back. In these clips, I've lost possession of the ball and I'm using the angled super jump off the sidewall to get back into position. On offense, the extra bit of speed off the wall can catch your opponents off guard and create scoring opportunities. If I rewind this clip, you'll see that my partner has started off the sidewall with an angled super jump. Even though he started behind our opponents, with the extra speed he is now nearly a quarter field length ahead of our opponents, which gives him plenty of time to make the goal. There are plenty of examples where the angled super jump can help get you a quick goal, but you also need to be careful with this extra power because if you miss, you might find yourself getting scored on instead. The back wall is generally a good spot to defend from anyway, so this play is mostly about picking the right opportunities to switch from defense to offense. The super jump is also useful for contesting balls further away. In this clip, I'm making a bad decision to go for this ball in the air, and even worse, I miss my super jump by jumping too early, while my opponent looks like they're super jumping off their wall. As a result, the jump ball is pretty close, but they are able to pretty comfortably clear the ball over me for an easy goal. In this case, if I hadn't missed the extra power from the super jump, maybe this might have played out a little differently. My last gameplay tip is about kickoffs and tip-offs. In tip-offs, you should be using some sort of fast aerial every time to get to the ball. Knowing that your horizontal movement can be transferred to height with an angled super jump, one strategy is to boost a little on the ground first before fast aerialing. Now, reviewing these clips, I don't think I've hit the super jump every time, but even with the normal jump, this tip-off is pretty solid. With kickoffs, things are a little different. Since the ball starts on the ground, you'll probably actually want to avoid doing a super jump accidentally. For example, if you're going for a pancake kickoff, it's important to jump before you tilt your car back in order to stay low and centered on the ball. If you tilt your car back before jumping, you might accidentally do a super jump and fly higher than you intended. Speaking of accidents, in this clip, my car has a weird bounce with the ground, and when I'm trying to shoot the ball, my car is angled too far upwards and I end up super jumping and losing my flip. So I recommend double checking your flip indicator when you notice an abnormally high jump. That way, you won't be caught thinking you have a flip when you actually don't. Alright, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. I really hope these tips help you win more games, and I hope y'all keep having fun out there. Bye!